Alright everybody, who was watching this video, I made this because I purchased this AliExpress Outboard Motor 1/8 scale. I purchased the A version that comes without any electronics. I added a brushed motor in it, and the purpose for making this video is because I found little to no guidance on how this is to be put together. When you order it, it comes with no assembly, no instruction manuals, so hopefully this might help someone if they decide to purchase one of these. The motor comes fully unassembled. It comes with packets of hardware. I've already assembled mine, but it comes with a lot of hardware and you kind of have to figure out where things go. Now, it's not the easiest of things, so hopefully this shall help someone. I assembled this based on my best guess, I would say. So it's not an official manual by any means, but it works. And I think this is how it should be assembled. So yeah, I'm just hoping it will help someone, but obviously don't quote me on any of this. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to show you well, now you can see the finished product, essentially, kind of finished. It's not fully put together. There's a couple of bits and pieces, all 3D printed, that are yet to be added to the motor, but I'm going to take it apart. I'm going to show you what I've done in order to make it run and make it work, and hopefully this shall help you putting yours together as well. So let's see. So after a quick disassembly, basically you will probably want to start with the base and the top. They give you 6 magnets that would hold these two pieces together, and I would recommend that you glue them in. You let your super glue cure, and then you will start doing the rest, otherwise you will end up with a lot of glue on your fingers. They also give you 4 bearings. One goes inside under the motor, another one goes under the side there, one at the end of the prop, and one on the inside of this whole thing. Now, it's not the easiest thing to add these bearings in. They take a lot of force to be put in place. You really want to be careful when adding these in, because it's a 3D printed part after all. It looks fairly rigid and solid, but obviously bits and pieces you might break that you don't want to break. So these are the first steps that I've done. You realize I didn't move everything that I could. I'm gonna come to them in a second. The second part that I needed to figure out was this prop shaft. So I went for the cheapest possible option, plastic prop, and it comes with 2 shafts in the kit. One is for the motor, and then the other one is for your propeller. So one of the shafts that you get will have a threaded end, and I think this is how it goes together, that you put the nylon locker nut, your prop, this prop lock-in piece, something that is secured by a grub screw, this 3D printed spacer, and then the end just screws on top. And then you also get a couple of these like really small washers. There's a couple on this one. I think they are used to do the spacing for your gear mesh. So with that, you would put the gear at the end, the brass gear at the end, and then you would also secure it with a 1.5mm grub screw. The third part that I needed to figure out was this, the motor shaft, essentially. So this is pretty straightforward. They give you the coupler. It has 4 M2 grub screws, and I guess it will have the spacer on it, and then I also put a couple of these washers on it, and then the screw at the end. This will then insert into the base, go through the bearings, and then the shaft would come out here. It's really tricky to put everything in place, because once the shaft is through, and both shafts are through, you're gonna have a real hard time putting all your gears on. So you almost have to space them in and then slide the shafts through into the tunnels. They also give you 3 of these really tiny metallic things that I think they will go in to secure these 1.5mm, where are they? 1.5mm screws. I have no idea where the other two goes. So that's yet to be figured out. I guess we'll see. But then comes the assembly of you putting things together. The couple of things that I've also done. So it comes with a water inlet on the front end of the motor. If you look at it, this is going to be your hinge towards your boat. I put an M2 grub screw in this one because I don't want to water cool mine. It's just going to be a brush setup. But this is where your water pickup line option 1 could be. They give you 2 pieces. One is a water pickup one, and another one is just a flat piece that goes at the end of the motor, and it just clips in place. I'm guessing I'm going to glue it in together so I won't lose it. So there's another option to water cool it. There are also a couple of, I'm going to say, mysterious holes that are in this piece. 3 at the back and 2 at the front. Now these 2 front ones, they are connected to this water pickup line. So I would imagine that water would come through and go up if you wanted to water cool your motor. So since we're not doing it, I'm going to be just leaving them out, and I'm hopefully going to be enough with closing this bottom one with the grub screw, and no water shall come into the motor. I guess we shall see. Now it is really fiddly to get these gears in properly. I have a little bit of a planer mesh. I can't really get this gear any further in because the shaft seems a little bit too short. I don't want to get this gear any further down, so I think it's gonna be okay. It doesn't sound unhealthy, and it's gonna take a lot of greasing anyway, because as you can see, this part is kind of exposed. It has this little latch or hatch that you can put on top with a single screw, but I think it's inevitable that it's gonna get a lot of stuff in it. Now the other thing that I have absolutely no idea how it should work, and I'm guessing it may be down to the fact that I'm not using the motor that they would supply you with if you bought the brushless version. But this spins in it. There's no way to screw anything, to use the motor mounts for anything. I see there's this tightening screw situation, but no matter how tight I get it, it's not clamping in the motor. I guess it would probably do it with the brushless motor. Maybe that's a little bit wider on the can. We're only talking maybe a 0.5 millimeter width that we need here. So that's not going to work for me. But what I've done, I'm just going to use it from the bag. If you look at that grub screw, it's for like a crawler that holds your bumper on. I've screwed one of these in. It's an M2 screw. So with that in place, you should be able to just tighten the motor just enough that it no longer spins, and should anything happen, you know, your motor and your commutator inside, it does rotate. So this secures the motor probably well enough, not to over tighten. Secures the motor well enough so it's going to stay in place. And I've no idea what that's for. I'm guessing it's for the brushless motor and it like clamps it in, but yeah, maybe. It comes with the screw. I'm guessing that's the screw that goes in there. Now to add to all of that, there's also a ton of stuff that it comes with. This particular piece, this long one, and it comes with this little pin. I'm guessing this is the hinge for the whole assembly to turn. They also give you the servo connecting rod. That's fine, that's reasonably straightforward. But what these other 2 nuts and what these 2 brass things with the bolts in, I have no idea. There's also a couple of spare grub screws. I'm guessing they are spares. I didn't find any use for them anywhere. And they give you this 2mm Allen key. There's not a single 2mm sorry, lies. There's only 2 places. One place where you really need to use a 2mm Allen key is to secure the coupler to the motor and the shaft. That's the only 2mm stuff that you need. This big screw, this is a 2.5mm one, and this little tiny one that goes in there on the cap, it's not even a 1.5, so I couldn't use my regular toolkit, so it's a 1.3mm head that you need in order to be able to screw that one in and then secure it in place. so that you don't lose this little lid of the thing. So basically that's it. And then this thing should slide on, clip in. I'm going to force it and clip it in once I figure out that I actually want to secure it and I'm ready. I would imagine this would be the first thing to break off if I did too much fiddling around. So this is the last piece to go on. And then the cap just goes on. It has some provisions for your motor wires, but that's, you can't possibly fit an ESC in there, but you can probably get away with a larger can if you really wanted to, just size-wise. It's hollow on the inside. But yeah, this is the AliExpress 1/8 scale Outrunner motor, somewhat assembled. So we're gonna take a look at it, how it runs in just 1 second. So there's no grease in it. It's a little bit louder than it should be. I'm guessing a gear mesh is somewhat okay, but this is how it's going to run. And obviously it's going to get fully assembled. And this is just on a 2S LiPo. I think it's going to be plenty powerful for the project this is going on. So it is going to go on this good old Action Man dinghy. It's going to go at the end, at the back of it. Now these boats came with their own Outrunner motors. I suppose they were better operated, so I'm guessing there might be a motor somewhere in there. I have no idea how they fitted it. The prop spins, but it no longer works, and it's so tightly put together that I couldn't really figure out how to take it apart without destroying or really badly damaging it. So this is going to be probably decoration for something else in the future. And ideally, this shall be the home for the Outrunner motor at some point. I'm guessing it's going to be plenty powerful. This is a really light boat. So this brushed stock can, silver can Tamiya motor shall be plenty to move this about at reasonable speeds. It doesn't have to win championships. So there's that. I'm really hoping the whole assembly, I would say instruction, helped anyone that is trying to purchase one. I really badly wanted to get an Outrunner motor. They are really expensive, even the AliExpress ones. Anything semi-branded is ridiculous. Anything is £150 or up. The printed, just the prints, without the motors or any electronics, set me back £43 with free shipping. Not the end of the world. Basically, you get the prints, you get all the hardware that I've shown you installed, other than that one grub screw that I needed to secure the motor. It comes with no electronics, so it's 3D prints and a couple of hardware, the prop shafts, the propeller itself, and all these bits and pieces. We'll see how it runs on the boat. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next one.